Good morning, friends. Hello, hello. How are you this morning? Hope you're doing all right. Hello, everyone. Good morning on this day, this gray day, where we are still fighting the fog here over the bridge. Hope everybody's doing all right and doing well. Good morning, good morning. Hello, friends. Hello. Hey, Jamie, good morning to you. You doing great? Have a little mug up. Hey, Jane, good morning. Hope you and Jonathan doing great. Good morning, friends. Hey, Donna, good morning to you. Karen, good morning. Hello. Hi. Hello, everybody. Hope the morning is treating you well and that there's goodness in it. Good morning. Hi, gang. All right, let's get going this morning. It is the 18th day of June on this 11/11, and I'm glad you are here. It is another grand and beautiful day. We have all manner of fun things happening at church. We have our engineers that are working on our tower. We've been crawling all over the building this morning, looking at things that are coming. We have at 11:30 we're going to be hosting a ice cream truck out front of the school for the kids next door to have kind of celebrate their end of year and to give them some sweetness as they wrap up their year. We have our deacons gathered tonight to break bread together in the celebration of having been a deacon of the church and the opportunity to spend some time celebrating the work of the diaconate in the church. And then we have a concert coming up on Friday. We have on Saturday the opportunity to help a veteran in town. So the United Way has what is called their Day of Action, and their Day of Action is we've been tasked with going to help out a veteran in town that isn't able to move some things in their house, and they need some things cleaned out and some help with that. So if you'd like to help out with that, just get in touch with the office. We'll get you hooked up with the opportunity to serve. All of that, friends, I tell you all that just to give us a little snapshot of this moment in time. I'm going to be headed out to St. Louis in order to be a part of the wider fellowship of the National Association of Christian Congregational Churches, that and to be in the embrace of other friends and other people who are other ministers who are pastoring churches and get both encouragement and wisdom from them. This is just a little snapshot. And I want to give you a snapshot. I want to begin with that because there's this way in which I think we're endeavoring. We're going to come back to that word. We are endeavoring to persevere through the weightiness of our days, whether we're dealing with personal things and the heaviness of our hearts, or we're contending with the wider world and it's crazy and craziness and chaos, or whether we're just trying to get through another day, that we are endeavoring to persevere. And this word endeavor actually was the name of perhaps one of the great ships of the world. See, the Endeavour was captained by a guy by the name of James Cook. And if you remember your history, James Cook was one of the very first Europeans to ever encounter Australia. He and his crew would sail through to New Zealand and Australia, and really, although the people that lived in Australia were already there, for the Europeans, it was really one of the first European discoveries of the continent. In April of 1770, he would sail into Botany Bay. So, we think, wow, this great ship, right? This incredible ship that opened up an entire continent to the Western world. Certainly, it had a lauded and incredible history. That it was lifted up in the joys and the wonders of nautical history forever. Actually, what happened is James Cook and his crew sailed it home. It was refitted for the Army. For the Navy, rather, for the British Navy. It was engaged in the Battle of Narragansett Bay right over here, and she was scuttled off of Newport, Rhode Island, simply 8 years later. In 1778, she was scuttled in order to try and deny commerce into Newport Harbor. She was created to be nothing but an obstacle. This incredible ship, James Cook's incredible, and his crew, his incredible journey of discovery, and it came up because they finally found it. They're convinced now that the wreck that is sitting outside just off of Goat Island down in Narragansett Bay is in fact the Endeavour. That the people who discovered it, they've been working on it. There's actually an Australian group that have been working on it for 25, marine archaeologists that have been working on it for 25 years to figure out if in fact it was the Endeavour, and they believe it is. That this incredible vessel that sailed around the world, that changed what the Western world knew about geography, that opened up an entire continent, lay in the bottom of the bay, scuttled, for no apparent reason, other than just to become a temporary obstacle to commerce in the midst of the war of the American Revolution. Our lives, I think, can sometimes feel like the Endeavour. We can feel like all of these things that we started with and that are going on in the church, that we can say, like, my goodness, no matter what I offer out there, no matter what things I get involved with, no matter what I try to do, no matter how I may try to be a good person, or for instance, or no matter what I try to overcome, that it seems like that I will be lost and forgotten to the ages. What's it ever really gonna matter? How is anybody gonna care if we, walk through this building and try to preserve it? What is it gonna care if we go offer some sweetness and some ice cream to some students that are ending their year, and the challenges that come with that? What is it going to matter if we try to tend to one of our veterans in the Fall River that needs some help? What is it going to matter if we offer up an organ concert on Friday and lift beauty into the world? What is it going to matter, right? It's so, because we're all bound to be like the Endeavour, and even though that one of the greatest ships that did one of the greatest feats ended up discarded and thrown away and at the bottom of the ocean as nothing but an obstacle. But that's not God's promise. You see, and the reason that we do all these things that we've engaged in, the reason that we will come and have worship on Sunday and lift up the living God, the reason that we come to this is because that even though the world may continue to churn, the world may continue to turn, and that things in this world may be forgotten and may be forgotten, but that nothing is forgotten in the life of God, that nothing is forgotten for the hosts of heaven. Nothing is forgotten to the one who calls us and made us and and to have our being. In Hebrews 13, the author quotes Deuteronomy. He goes all the way back, hundreds and hundreds of years. He goes all the way back, and he quotes Deuteronomy to say this as a final encouragement to this church, new church that he's speaking to. And he writes this. He quotes this 31 verse 6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, the things that would seek to destroy you. For the Lord your God goes with you, and he will never leave you and never forsake you. You see, we can look at the history of this grand ship, the Endeavor, and say, oh, well, our life will be like that, forgotten at the bottom of the sea. And the corporeal life will eventually like that. Eventually, the hard reality of this world is that eventually all graves will go unmourned. But the reality of the spiritual world, the reality of the heavenly world, the really real that endures beyond the corporeal world, this flesh and blood world, but that which brings the flesh and blood world into being and continues our being on into reality, is that God will never forget us, nor never forsake us. God will know every hair on our head and love us through eternity, through this life and the next. And it is simply in this invitation to endeavor to persevere. That's really what in Hebrews 13, that is what the author is telling with his concluding invitations, his concluding exhortations in this last chapter of Hebrews. He is encouraging them. He says this: love one another, brothers and sisters, and do not forget to show hospitality to strangers. Keep at it. Don't worry about money. Don't worry about the love of money. Don't get hung up in that. But be content with what you have, because this is where he quotes it. He will never leave you, and he will never forsake you. That, friends, our invitation is simply to endeavor to persevere, to be the endeavor of our days, to understand that the lives that we live are, well, they're just that. They're the lives that we live, and that one day they too will be for the ancients. They too will be for the ages. They too might end up in the bottom of Narragansett Bay, everybody forgetting about where they are, even though we have done great things in them. But the things that we do, the journeys that we take, the places that we sailed will remain discovered. They will remain remembered, if not in this world, but certainly by God. That every time we have the chance to tend one of our students next door, that we get to tend one of our own, that we get to lift up the true, the good, and the beautiful in song and in music. We get to worship our God. We get to take care and tend one of the warriors in our midst that is struggling and needs some help. Whenever we get to do that, whenever we get to keep on loving our brothers and sisters in this hour and in this moment, whenever we get to work on this grand building and let it continue to shine and do its ministry in this community, whenever we do these things, we do them not because they're going to temporally in this world transform something right now and right here, but we do them because God will never leave us. God will never forget us. And so I invite you to hear the words that the author of Hebrews reached back to all those days when he was trying to encourage his little church, and that you might hear them today. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you and will never leave you and never forsake you. Peace and grace to you, my friends, as you endeavor to persevere on this day. And I hope that we'll pick it up tomorrow with another 11:11.